Welcome, everyone, to the Ford Knicks postgame show. Knicks and Wizards tonight. Wizards missing 8 regulars, but they had Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal's their leading scorer, made a nice pass there. Excellent ball movement. And the Wizards in the fourth quarter tonight went up by 17 points. But the Knicks fought back. The lead was 17 with 4:21 to go. Ultimately, the Knicks pulled to within 3. Payton with a chance to tie. No. And the Wizards hang on to beat the Knicks tonight. 121 to 115. Crowd filing out. It's the Knicks' final game before Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome to our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, Wally Zerbiak. MSG 150 final follows a post-game show. But first, this is what happens, Wally, when at halftime you guarantee a Knicks win.
You're right.
What are you doing?
You're 100% right.
Why do you touch the money?
How do you lose this game? Can someone please explain how we lose this game?
You guarantee to win. That's what happened.
No, they only had 8 guys dressed. They have 5 G Leaguers. Gary Payton II just signed a contract to come play with this team like yesterday, and he comes up and he almost has a triple-double.
How you lose this game? What was the matchup to watch for me? Benches.
Yeah.
That's how you lost the game.
Yeah.
Their bench played better than your bench, and that shouldn't happen, like you said. They are shorthanded, and you had guys like Brown come in and give you 26 and 7, and you mentioned Payton come right off the street and have a terrific game. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 steals. He makes a difference. And Pasanix, how do you say that? Right? Did I get that right?
Pasanix sounds about right. That's close.
I mean, Bobby Portis is going to see him in his nightmares,
yes.
Because he got in the game. And we saw it early on. Like, this is what happened in the first half. The Knicks got out to a 13-point lead. It looked like they were going to roll. It looked like they were off to a good start. They were making shots. The building was excited. The benches came in. And we said it before the game. This is where, if you're on the Knicks bench, you're thinking to yourself, that's a shorthanded team. We go in there and we dominate this game, and the game's over by halftime. Yeah. Instead, the Wizards bench came in, and they played hard. Give them credit. They played hard.
Now, what about
the Knicks bench did not play hard.
You have players on the Wizards, Wally, playing for their NBA lives.
That's right.
10-day contracts. A lot of guys just up from the G League. How big a factor is that?
It's a big factor, but every Knicks player should be
playing for their lives, no question.
I mean, it's, when you go out there and you have an opportunity like this on your home floor, you have to take advantage of it, especially when you're rolling at the beginning of the game. You had 37 points with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Great start.
I mean, everything was coming great. You really neutralized Bradley Beal, who was the best player on the floor by far. You made him work for his shots, made him work for his points. You just allowed other guys to just really get going and really just, I mean, I'll never say a team will play harder and guys will play harder than a certain team, but in order for the Wizards to get this win tonight, they had to play harder. They had to go do all those little things. They missed all their free throws, the Wizards. I mean, they couldn't make a free throw, and they still won this game.
Well, now, and we
always say the Knicks are the ones that are missing their free throws. And what if the Knicks made their free throws? Well, tonight the Knicks made their free throws, and they still found a way to lose.
And you know what else we say? A lot of times the other team shoots the threes. It's unbelievable how other teams shoot threes against the Knicks. This wasn't a game where they shot threes well at all. 33% they shot from 3. The Knicks were making their threes. Yeah. So the three-point wasn't the issue either. The issue was they go to a zone defense. Give Scott Brooks credit. He knew what he had. You're facing a team that's one of the worst shooting teams in the league, so make them beat us from the outside. And the Knicks weren't able to figure out how to counter that zone at all, and it really changed the game. And once it got where you could just see it, once they started getting confidence, once the Wizards players got comfortable, and we say it all the time, it's amazing how comfortable other teams are in this building. It'll drive you crazy when you think about it. And opponents walk in this building, and they're comfortable. And somehow that's got to stop, and there weren't enough guys that were angry enough to want to make that stop in this game.
All right, the Knicks were down by 3 after 3, and the lead, as we mentioned off the top, for the Wizards grew to 17 points, Wally, with 4:21 to go, and yet the Knicks had a chance late to tie.
Yeah, I thought the Knicks were going to make the game close because this Wizards team, they struggle closing games, and they have guys that come crunch time, they're not used to being in that moment. There's a Matthews 3 that was just huge. This is when the lead really ballooned up. That's Gary Payton II, who's not known as a three-point shooter, but he was just playing for his NBA life. Bradley Beal knocks down that jump shot.
How many attempts for Beal? This is one of your games. 38 attempts,
almost, right? 38.
How about that back door there by Payton there?
Yeah, just too much. I mean, the points like that against a team like this, it's too easy.
Now the Knicks start turning turnovers and missed shots into quick points, which was important. It got them back in the game.
Barrett 3, and then out to Damian Dotson in transition. Dotson was really good.
Good game,
he can be your zone buster if you can get him looks at the 3 in the open court at times. Mitch was good around the board, just doing his thing, cleaning up the glass.
That right there cut it to 5, rebound. Minute 20 to go. Great stop here. 6 block for Mitchell here. And then you're going to need more offensive rebounding, which was key in this game for both teams.
Payton with the miss. Randle cuts it to 3.
It's hit there, by the way.
And then the Knicks get a stop. And
chance to tie right here, boys.
Step back good 3. Wide right.
Mitch never really got control of that ball. And again, Gary Payton making winning plays. Just knocks the ball out of Mitchell Robinson's hands. These are guys that in their collegiate careers, they've played on winners and they've done good things throughout their collegiate, careers. And now they get an opportunity to do it on the biggest stage, of their lives, in Madison Square Garden. And they just stepped up to the plate. This was their moment. This was their shot. And they took advantage of it. And the Knicks got to look themselves in the mirror a little bit and be like, wait a second, guys, we got to figure out how to defend our home court, beat an underman team like this and try to get wins, because they had some momentum coming off that West Coast trip, and now all of a sudden 2 blowout losses to 2 good teams. Yes, fine, they're good teams. Miami and the Bucks are good, but Washington undermanned. They're not a great team. You got them coming in at home. You had the opportunity to get the lead at times, and you just couldn't find a way to kind of put this team away and get a win that you sorely needed at home.
You wonder how aware they are of stuff like that. When you're looking at the standings, when you're looking at your record, when you're looking at what you just went through. I mean, the 2 games that you had this weekend were painful games to endure. Teams that are just way ahead of you right now. So you have an opportunity like this where you're thinking, we're at home, it's right before Christmas, let's get after this one. Get this one and make sure you lock down a win and feel good. And you saw a good start. That, as I said, the bench came in, and the bench just, to me, was not ready to compete. Not a lot of play. Everybody came in and they played.
Randle and Barrett were really good.
That's your starters.
Mitch.
There's your starters.
And Mitch
those are starters.
was good. And Peyton had 12 assists, or however many he had.
Those are your starters.
He was really orchestrating the offense. But you're right.
How prepared were you coming off the bench?
Now, Dotson had his best game of the year.
Yeah, Dotson was good off the bench.
When you don't know the names of who you're playing against because they're guys in the G League and stuff, you have to put a little extra into your preparation.
True.
And know what their tendencies are. If you care about winning, you put extra preparation in because you say, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, they've got this lineup of players I've never heard of. I better put some more work in. And they played against this bench as if they had no idea what these guys can do. And the Wizards got comfortable very quickly.
And it's a trickle-down effect, too. Robinson takes over Taj's spot.
Who was out because he was sick.
Who played, and then he played very well. And Knox was pretty good in taking Marcus Morris's spot. Now, he wasn't Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is, gives you a little bit more scoring and stuff like that.
Knox was 2 for 8 with 8 points.
Well, that was all in the first half, too. Yeah, that's true. But then the second half, that's a game Morris never has. So if you have Morris in the lineup, that helps. But then you need the other guys when the bench, gets a little depleted by Robinson and Knox not being able to come off the bench. You need other guys to step up.
Now, Trier got run, and he had 11 points, Wally.
He did. Trier was good. And, he took advantage of his time, and he's been yo-yoed back and forth. But this is a tough one to endure because you neutralized their best player and an all-NBA player in Bradley Beal, made him take a lot of shots to get points, and, you just couldn't find a way to come away with this one.
And Beal did go for 30 points, but he had to attempt a career-high 38 shots to do it. Here he is now with Rebecca Harlow.
Thanks, guys. Bradley. The Knicks go on a 16-2 run. You find yourselves up 3, 24 seconds. What is the challenge in closing out a game like this when you're surrounded by a group of guys that you've spent very little time with at this point?
First, praise my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's tough. It is tough. But, I put that on my shoulders. I was really terrible down the stretch. I didn't execute. I feel like I didn't get a lot of calls, but I still have to close out better than what we did. But to be able to have the guys we have with no type of camaraderie of playing down the stretch together, I think we did a really good job.
What can you say specifically about a guy like Peyton signs today and comes in and has a terrific game? I mean, that's a sign of hunger. A guy, we've had him last year, and, for us to bring him back, that's a tremendous sign for one. But two, it's just a test to who he is as a player and the type of person he is. We always talk about good character guys, but he actually comes onto the floor and he produces. Like, he had about 12 deflections at least tonight, and he led the G League in steals. So, that wasn't by accident. He's a byproduct. He's a byproduct of the work he put in and his show tonight. 38 shots for you tonight. What are you learning about yourself as you got to put this team on your back? I just have to be aggressive. It was funny because tonight wasn't like my type of game. Like, I don't really shoot that many shots ever, but my teammates kind of challenged me to be that aggressive. To kind of take shots you don't usually take and just see how it feels. And
go out here and be aggressive. Like, I don't know what else do you have to lose at this point? So I'm going to continue to do it.
Congrats, Brad.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, Beal averages 28.2 per game, went for the 30 tonight.
Yeah, he got off to a really good start in the first quarter, but then I give the Knicks credit. They banged him around. They made him really work. And this is a guy that, he knows he has to have longevity. He knows he has to be in uniform every night for this team. So I don't think he likes that kind of physical pounding. And I give the Knicks credit. They made him work for every single shot he got. They were physical with him coming off screens. There were times where he ended up on the ground a lot. But I give his teammates a ton of credit. And you can see this guy's just a leader and he's a playmaker. And, it's not easy to just have guys that you have really no feel, you have no chemistry with, like he alluded to, and they just come in and they find a way to win. That's just all about heart and guts. And that's how this Washington Wizards team pulled off this win.
And won at 121-115. Up next, we will hear from Knicks interim head coach Mike Miller. His reaction, his team fell down big in the fourth and just came up short before the final buzzer.